This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last class, we have seen about inheritance and polymorphism. So the meaning of inheritance is like creating a new class from an existing class. And in Java, we use extends keyword. Then does Java support multiple inheritance means? No, Java does not support multiple inheritance. In Java, a class can extend only one class, right? And inheritance is what type of relationship? Is a relationship. And coming to polymorphism means many forms. And we are in two types of polymorphism, compile time and runtime. Under that, compile time method overloading, under runtime method overriding. So in the case of method overloading, method name is same, but the signature is different. Signature means the arguments what you pass to the method. And in the case of overriding, method name is same and even signature is also same, and it is only for subclasses. Now, and we have seen how to go with constructors in inheritance. The very important point is the first statement added to every constructor is super, and super must be the first statement. Today, let us move to the next two topics. Like we see about final keyword, then we discuss inner classes, access modifiers, and encapsulation. All small topics. Let us initially go with final keyword. Final keyword can be used for the following. It is variables. So when you say variables, it can be your data members or even local variables also. Methods and classes. Let us initially go with final variable. When you make a variable as final, it is a constant. It is a constant. Means the value of the variable cannot be modified. You cannot change the value of the variable. Like example, if you say final int max value equal to 100. The standard what we follow for final variable is capital case. So once you make this variable as final, if you try to change the value of this max value to some 200, this will go with error. Once you make a variable as final, we cannot change the value of the variable. One more example. So if you say your final double pi. So what is the value of pi always? 3.14. We cannot change the value of this variable. Next one, final method. Final method. It cannot be overridden. We cannot override final methods. Like example, if you take a class base with a method xxx with some code inside, to take a class derived extends base, derived extends base with a method xxx, with a method xxx. Now, see here this base is what? Base class, and this is derived class. We are having a method xxx and we are overriding this method. If you make this base class method as final, we cannot override that method. So this will go with error. See here, what is this final variable? When you make a variable as final, the value cannot be modified. We cannot change the value of the variable. When you make a method as final, we cannot override that method. Then, final class. It cannot be subclassed. We cannot create subclasses of final classes, cannot be inherited. Like example, if you say final class base, and if you say class derived extends base, When you make a base class as final, and if you are trying to create subclass for final class, this will go with error. Clear all of you? What is final keyword? Now, in Java, we are having some predefined final classes. Predefined final classes. There, system is a final class, string is a final class, math is a final class, byte, 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 short, character, integer, long, float, double, and boolean. So for every primitive data type, there is a corresponding class, and we call these classes as wrapper classes. Call them as wrapper classes. When we come to LAN package topic, we'll discuss more about this wrapper classes. So for now, minimum this list we should remember as final classes. The reason behind that is during your exams or interviews, they'll ask you the question, what is the output? If you take a class, my class extends string, what answer we should say immediately? This will go with what? Error. Because string is what? Final class. String is final class. Can we create subclass of final class? No. So this will go with error, and the message is string is final, cannot be subclassed. Right? So for all these classes, we cannot create subclasses. Clear up to here? Any questions? Let us move to the next concept here. Inner classes. A very small topic, simple class concept here. Inner classes. What is inner classes? A class within a class is called as inner class. A class within a class is inner class. Like example, if you take a class outer, inside the class outer, if you create one more class like inner, then this one we call inner class. Let me elaborate more using the program inner demo. Open Eclipse. Right click on project ends in new class inner demo with main method. Now let us create a class here outer. Inside the class outer, let me take one property like n equal to some 100. The data member n with the value 100. Now let us create one more class here, class inner. Inside this class, let us go with a method do stuff. A method. Here we'll print the value of n here. N equal to the value of n. Now the objective is we want to call do stuff method. We want to call this do stuff method of inner class. So how to call? Only the object of the class can call the methods. Only the object of the class can call the method. Then how to create object of inner class? That's the main thing to understand. How to create object of inner class is like this. Outer dot inner. Let's say outer dot inner. Inner object equal to new outer. New outer. First we have to create object of outer. Using that object only we can create object of inner. Create object of inner, object like this, outer dot inner, new outer. First create object of outer. Using that only we can create object of inner. This syntax is important to remember. Then say inner object dot do stuff. That's it. When we run, we get simple n equal to 100 here. So this piece of code is important. So more about inner classes I'll discuss again later. Now let us move to the next and very important topic of today's class. access modifiers. Access modifiers. Now, we are having totally 4 access modifiers. They are private, default. Default means no need to specify. If you are not specifying, then it takes default, protected, and public. These 4 we call them as access modifiers. Then we are even having non-access modifiers. Non-access modifiers are like static, final, abstract, transient, and synchronized. Right? So already we discussed static and final. Abstract we'll discuss in tomorrow's class. Transient we'll discuss when we come to IO package topic. Synchronized when we come to multi-threading. Here we are having one important point. Only final modifier is allowed for local variables. Out of all these modifiers, only final modifier is allowed for what? Local variables. Right? It's allowed for local variables. Right? Now, let us say this access modifiers now. Initially, let us go with private. So, what is this private is like? A class cannot be private. We cannot use private keyword for a class. Like example, if you say private class, my class goes with error. We cannot use private keyword for a class. Where we can use private keyword? Private keyword can be used for data members, methods, and inner classes. So where we can use private keyword? We can use private keyword for data members, methods, and inner classes. What is the use of private keyword? What is the use of private keyword? Private members, when you make a member as private members are accessible only within the class. Where we can access private? Only within the class, within the same class. Like example, if you take a class A, with a private variable int n. Now, if you take a method xxx, inside the method xxx, to try to give value to n, this is valid only because you are in the same class. We are within the same class. How to know within same class? These curly braces. So since even this n is private, I can access within the same class. If you create a class B, and inside class B, if you go with a method y, and inside y, we are creating object of a class. How to create object? A equal to new A. Then using this object, if you try to give value to n variable, this will go with error. Because n is private, when you make it private, I can access only within this curly brace. Outside we cannot access, even with object also we cannot access. That is error. It will go with error because n is not visible. Because of what reason? private. Clear all of you the meaning of private? This statement is important here. Any questions? Hello, Vinay. Now let us move to the next one. Default. Default. When you say default, a class can be default, and this is accessible only within the same package level scope, within the same package. Means, like example, if you create a package pack1 with a class A, having a data number n and with method xxx. Inside this, we are giving value to n here. This is valid only because we can access even within same class. If you create a class B, we are in the same package. Class B also present in same package with a method y. Inside this y, you are creating object of a class, and using this object you are trying to give value to n variable. This is valid only because you are in the same package. This n is default specifier. This is default specifier. So default can be used within same class or even within same class of another package. Within the same package, you are still in the same package. So it is valid. Now, if you create one more package pack2 with a class C, inside class C, we are going with a method z. In this method, we are creating object of a class. Since a class belongs to pack1, if I want to use a class of one package into another, what we should write here? Import. Let's go with import. Import pack1.a. Then only we can create object of a class. But one more point, if I want to access a class outside of package, the class must be public here. So only public classes are accessible outside of the package. Now, once we create object of a class present in pack1, now by using this object, if I try to give value to n, this will go with error. Yes, n is not visible because of what? Default. So default means we can use only within same package, outside we cannot use. So here, let me prove this. If you take our example programs, like in mypack1, we have created calculator.java. In mypack2, calculator test.java. In calculator program, if I remove public keyword for add method, then this add method is a default specifier. Means I can use this add method only within this mypack1. Outside of mypack1, we cannot use. So here, once we save, in calculator test, see under add method, we are getting errors here. Under add method, line number 9, we are getting error because add method is default specifier and present in another package. See the error message, what it is saying? The method add from type calculator is not visible, and it is asking to change visibility of add to public. Even if you just click here, it will go back here and writes the method as public here. So default means we can access only within the same package. Clear? Any questions? Compulsory, you need to recap this. Protected. a class cannot be protected. Like example, protected class. My class goes with error. We cannot use protected keyword for class. Where we can use protected keyword? Protected keyword can be used data members, methods, and inner classes. And what is the access here? Protected members are accessible within the same package and subclass of another package. Protected members we can access within the same package plus even subclass of another package. Let me show this. Take the same example. To make this n as protected now, in class A, we are making this data member n as protected. So when you make it as protected, we can use within the same class, within the same package also. Outside of package, non-subclass. C is non-subclass of A, so we cannot access. Non-subclasses we cannot access. But if you create class D, which extends A, so D is a subclass of A now. D is subclass of A. Here we are going with a method PPP. In this method, we are giving value to n as 40. This is valid only. Because when we make a member as protected, we can use within the same package plus even subclass. See, A is a subclass of D. Sorry, D is a subclass of A. So within subclass, we can even access protected members. The difference between default and protected is simple. Default only within same package, protected within same package plus subclass of another package. Next one, public. It's very simple. A class can be public and accessible everywhere, no restrictions. So within same class, within same package, another package, subclass, non-subclass, anywhere we can access. Okay. We are having some important points on public. If the class is public, then the name of the source code file should be same as the class name. Example, if you take a public class, my class, the file name also should be compulsory myclass.java only. When you make a class as public, the file name and class name should match. It is a syntax rule. Check it here. Come to Eclipse. If you make this calculator as calculator1, see immediately it's showing error because file name is calculator.java, but the class is calculator1. See the error message. The public type calculator1 must be defined in its own file. It's asking you to change the name of the file as calculator1.java. If the class is not public, see no error. The file name and class name may not match, no problem at all. Only if the class is public, the file name and class name should match here. One more point. In a source code file, we can have only one public class. In a source code file, we can have only one public class. Means, if you take a public class A, then what should be the file name? A.java. Should be the file name A.java. If you create one more public class in A.java, if you create one more public class B, then what should be the file name now? If you save it as A.java, it will say B is public, save as B.java. If you save it as B.java, it will say A is public, save as A.java. So having multiple public classes in one source code file is not allowed. This will go with error. So in a source code file, we can have only one public class. Clear these points, all of you? As a summary, the summary is important to remember. Private, when you make a member as private, accessible only within the same class. Default, accessible only within the same package. Protected, accessible within the same package plus subclass of another package. Public, no restrictions, accessible everywhere. Right? Anyone having any questions up to here? Now the next one, encapsulation. Encapsulation. What is this encapsulation is like? Let me define it. A wrapping up of data members and methods together into a container called class. So where we can keep data members and methods inside a class, and by providing security to data, is called as encapsulation. This security to data is the main thing of encapsulation. Let me explain. To take a class employee with a data member age. Now we want to give value to age outside. So if I want to give value to this age data member, what we do? We create object of class. We create object of employee class. Now using this object with the dot operator, now we can give value to age here. Giving value to age. Now let us take one more method. Let us take a method set age, which takes a as argument, and we'll say age equal to k. Outside of class, using object, we can call the method set age, and we can give value 40. So this 40 will come and store into a, which we are giving to the data member. In this piece of code, how many ways we are using to give value to each data member? In this piece of code, how many ways we are using to give value to each data member? Two ways, right? We are using two ways. One is directly accessing each data member, and one more by using set age method. Okay, we are using two ways here to give value to the age data member, right? Now, if you make this age as private, then this will go with error because we cannot access age outside directly. So this will go with error. Then how many ways we are using to give value to age data member? Only using method. So making data members as private, and giving the value to data member only by using methods, such type of code only we call encapsulation. Then how private keyword is giving security? Let us understand. If I remove private keyword, then we can access age directly. When you are able to access this age directly, I can even store -20 because age is integer. In integer, we can store positives and negatives, no problem. That means this age is not protected. This age data member is not protected, not secured to store valid data. How to give protection? By using private. So when you say private, now we can give value to age only using methods. And what is the advantage of method? The value what you pass to this a argument, I can check here. If that a value is greater than or equal to 18, and if that a value is less than or equal to 60, then only we give that a value to age. Else we'll say invalid age. Now see, in this piece of code, since we cannot access age directly, the only way to give value to age is method, and the advantage of method is we can check the data is valid or not. So writing the code in this piece of format is called as what? Encapsulation. Clear all of you? What is encapsulation? Simple using private keyword for data members. So what is the point? A class is fully encapsulated. Fully encapsulated means secured when all data members are clear. All of you, any questions? Anyone having any questions up to here? Okay, so let me stop here for today, and tomorrow we go with the new topic like abstract classes and interfaces. With that we complete our object oriented. Okay.